PvM in RuneScape is a pretty difficult thing to get into, but there is lots of ways that you can make this easier on yourself, and in this video we are going to be talking about some ways that you can do that. I do quite a lot of coaching videos for players that think I can help them improve with PvM, just giving tips and stuff to help them improve where I can see that there's room for improvement. That being said, I am not a PvM pro, but I have got a fair bit of experience. So the things in this video have come from those coaching videos that I see fairly regular. Okay, so with that being said, and you know what the video is about, let's go. So we're going to start off with something that makes total sense and is pretty straightforward. In fact, a lot of the things in here are kind of common sense, but a lot of the stuff is missed out because there's so many overwhelming things when we get started. But the very first one is, when you're going to do a boss or when you're going to watch a guide or anything like that, do research outside of just fighting it over and over again, and don't just watch one guide if you've watched one and you're still struggling. If you've watched a guide and you go and you kill the boss and it's nice and easy and you find it simple, but maybe you still want to improve, then try watching another guide as well, a second guide, or try watching through somebody else killing that boss. The reason you want to do more research than just fighting the same boss over and over again is you may take a long time to pick up on little things that people are doing to make their kills a hell of a lot better that you can then implement into your kills. For example, you could probably kill, I don't know, 1000 Raksha if you've just watched a basic guide, you go through, you kill the boss, and you get it, and it's all well and good. But you want to improve your kill times, and so you just keep going and throwing yourself at the boss. However, if you watch the second guide that maybe included a little bit extra tips and stuff compared to something else, or maybe you just watch the streamer kill the boss, you'll notice some things that they do. For example, using a vitality potion on the rock fall so that you can just completely ignore the rocks and keep doing DPS, or maybe a very specific thing that they do that helps them get through and skip the whole of entire phase 2, for example, because this is definitely possible to do. Watching these things and seeing what people do that are actually experiencing the boss already and going, hey, I can do that, that's nice and easy, I can add a VIP pot to my rotation, that's really easy to do. These can make the world of difference, and so I would suggest absolutely, when you are looking to improve your kills after this, or if you're struggling still once you've watched a guide, go and check another one, go and do a little bit more research, ask people in your clan for any extra advice, and you will improve from there on. Do keep in mind that improving kill times and stuff like that can take a fairly long time to do, but it will happen eventually, so just keep at it. This one is something I do quite a lot, and that is going to be upgrading your food from regular food, things like Sourdough Brews and Green Blubbers or something, to something more expensive that heals you for more. Don't be afraid to do this if you are running out of food during a fight, or if you think it's just going to make the kill more comfortable for yourself. Give you a little bit more room for mistakes and not have you punished completely by messing up by 1 or 2 mechanics that you know you're probably going to tank something to the face. An example of this is if I was going to go and solo Solak when I was learning, I would always have taken the Rocktail Soups and the Super Sourdough Brews. These are expensive foods, and I wouldn't recommend people taking them always and always using them unless you're doing something incredibly profitable. However, when learning, these can be the difference between you feeling stressed in a kill that you're going to run out of food right towards the end, or feeling pretty comfortable that actually I've got plenty of healing, these do way more than the other things, and I'm going to be absolutely fine. I spent the extra for it, but that comfort is more than enough to let you relax and focus on mechanics and actually getting through the kill. If you are struggling with food, don't be afraid, guys, to go and change those regular brew flasks to Super Sourdough Brew flasks, or maybe change like your Green Blubbers to Rocktail Soups, or even just Blue Blubbers. Upgrading them somewhere along the line is definitely something that can get you through that. Like I said, I still do this. At Zamorak, for example, if I'm pushing in Rages, I will definitely use the Super Sourdough Brews and probably Blue Blubbers at that point. But even just getting that little bit of extra healing is something that not only gives me that extra space, but it just gives me that little bit of extra comfort and confidence that, you know what, I've got plenty of food, that is not going to be an issue. If I need to eat, I'll just eat. It's fine, and I'll focus on something else. Then once you've got the experience of that boss and you are comfortable and you've started getting kills, you will easily be able to reduce that back down to regular stuff, and then eventually probably nearly nothing in most situations. Most bosses, you can kind of no food them if you do it properly. So with experience over time, you bring those expensive items of food back down to regular ones, and then eventually you can probably go back to Green Blubbers and all this sort of stuff. Another thing people make a lot of mistakes with, and is so freaking important, I can't stress how important this really is, and that is being on the wrong familiar or the wrong aura, or just using something that is not necessarily the optimal aura or the optimal familiar when doing a boss. Now, something that people fall into a trap of quite a lot is taking a yak to a boss because they feel like, oh, well, I'm taking so much food and I'm really going through it all. A yak is going to mean that I can just eat through the whole kill, right? It'll be fine. This is definitely what I want to do. But in most places, if you take a yak, the fight will be harder than if you took like a Ripper Demon and used scrolls there as well. Or if you use a Nihil at somewhere like, I don't know, Araxi if your accuracy is subpar. Or if you're at Nex and something and you're not using a Shadow Nihil, using a Yak will be worse by far. Like, you will notice a difference here, even if you feel like you're using a lot more food. Now, this is because if you're not using the correct aura and the correct Yak, you could end up extending your kill or making it a lot more difficult during, like, through like splashing or just not getting enough DPS through the kill and making it really long, that it ends up costing you more food than it would have done in the first place, and you have to deal with more mechanics. A boss, if you don't phase it quick enough, will just keep recycling its mechanics, doing the same thing over and over again, and you've got to deal with those every time that happens. Every time you don't phase the boss because you've not done enough damage, every time the boss isn't dead, they are just going to be recycling mechanics. And so being able to put out more DPS and like shortening the kill means that you end up taking a lot less damage and also having to use a lot less food. So it kind of falls into the category of DPS is kind of king, and the more DPS you can do, then the easier the fight is. Familiars like Ripper Demons with scrolls and Nihils can increase your damage and your accuracy, which then translates to damage so much more, and it is important that you check this. If you're not sure of which aura and familiar to use at a certain boss, you could probably just ask someone in the clan, ask a random person, or just use the RuneScape wiki, search up the boss, and there'll be a strategy thing on there, and it'll probably tell you on there as well. One of the things I saw quite a lot when doing the coaching videos was people taking a preset to a boss fight that was only kind of half complete. As soon as I loaded the preset and the kill recording started, I would look at the inventory and go, there is a lot we can do here that will make a huge difference straight away. And that's absolutely fine. There's so many items and so many different little things you can do in this game that it absolutely makes sense that newer players to PVM would definitely miss out on a lot of these things. But there is lots of different extra little items and stuff that you can take with you to boss fights that are going to make a world of difference for very little effort. And I've mentioned this in quite a lot of the videos, but it's just going to be very quickly things like adrenaline potions, vulnerability bombs, vitality potions, weapon poisons, incense sticks, like making sure your familiar has scrolls in it like we mentioned in the last one. All these sort of things are going to be incredibly important to making the fight easier. If the boss is poisonable, having weapon poison is easy, free damage, effortless, it just does it. You apply it before you start the fight, and that is it. That's all you need to do. Adrenaline potions will help you put out way more DPS than you can probably even think of just from drinking one little dose of a potion. It is going to make a huge difference when you use that Sunshine or Death Swiftness or Berserk and then use an adrenaline potion afterwards to get you to those thresholds very quickly. You will notice a world of difference. So don't forget to double check all your presets before you go to a fight, to go to a boss, and make sure there's not anything on there that you're missing. And if you think there is something you're missing, if you're in a clan, just ask someone in the clan, hey, I'm going to this boss, I've got this in my inventory, is there any items I should take that I could probably get a lot of use out of? People will always be helpful from my experience and happy to be like, oh yeah, have you got weapon poison? Do you have your vulnerability bombs? Are you using the right spell? Have you got incense sticks? Have you used them before you go? Have you done all this other stuff? It helps out a lot. So definitely double check your presets, make sure you've got all the extra little things that you can take, and you'll notice a world of difference. This is a little trick that won't take long to explain, but it's something that I did personally when I was practicing these bosses, and I did it on stream a while ago, and people were like, wait, what the frick? Why did you just do that? And there's a good reason why. This is, if you're learning a boss like the Ambassador or Seiryu, or anything in an elite dungeon, for example, like the Blackstone Dragon, once you kill them, you have to then run the whole dungeon again to get back to them and practice them again. But if you don't kill them at the end of the fight, you just get the Ambassador down to the last 10k health. You look at your inventory, you're like, yes, I've definitely got enough food here. I could easily kill him. It's absolutely done. I've definitely pulled it off. Just teleport out if you're not like confident that you can do this every time now. Teleport out, go back to the bank, reload your preset, go back in and practice the boss again, because you can teleport directly back to him and he is still there. If you're looking to just improve and practice at these bosses, these specific bosses that have a lot of like time gating before them, doing the rest of the dungeon and stuff, then absolutely just teleport out, go back in and just fight the boss again. That way you can practice the mechanics without having to constantly run the dungeon. That way you can get more comfortable with it all, and you can increase your like kill speed and stuff. And then once you know you can confidently do it and it's not a problem, and you get to that point of like 10k health, 20k health every time, then you kill the boss off, you grab your loot, which will of course be a rare drop because you're going to get the RNG from that, and then that's it. You can start running the dungeon confidently that you're not going to get stuck on that last boss again. And finally, by far the most important thing in my opinion that I always stress about as well and say you need to know what these do is defense abilities. Learn how your defense abilities work, read through them all, understand what they do in which situations, and start using them. Take a shield to every single boss fight that you go to, even if you think you're not going to use it, just take it. You want it in your inventory, it's a good habit to have. It's insane. The amount that defense abilities can change in a fight is unbelievable, and you're going to need them in some high level bosses as well. You will need your defense abilities. If you do not use them, you will die. That is just how it is. So learn your defense abilities, and not just the regular resonance ones and debilitate. Learn devotion, learn revenge, learn reflect, learn immortality, all of these sort of things. They can save your life. I can't even explain how many times my life has been saved by using these abilities. And I believe at one point some JMods were like, oh, we don't like defense abilities, we hate them, they're not good, I don't like them, because we have to like work bosses around them, and we make a big mechanic, the boss is going to do a huge amount of damage and someone just barricades and it's done. So that's how strong they are, that's how good defense abilities are. So take advantage of them, take the shield, learn what they do, and trust me, you will use them in a lot of different places, and some places will require you to have them. There we go, that is everything that I can think of for this video without dragging it out for way too long on things that you can make PVM easier with. These are things that I do for myself as well and did in the past as well, and these are things that I saw in the coaching videos, and I kept repeating myself a little bit with each individual person, which is fine. And if you guys want me to do a coaching video for you, then just DM me on Discord, send me a clip of the kill, which you probably put on YouTube Unlisted. I'll take a look, and I'm happy to do that if it helps you out. But otherwise, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video and found something useful. If you did, make sure to leave a like, sub to the channel if you are new. Final mention, channel members and patrons, your names will have been on screen through the outro. Guys, I seriously do appreciate the support that you give to the channel. It makes the world of difference. And finally, there is patron only content over on the Patreon. There's a link in the description, so you can go over there, chuck $1 over there if you want to get that content while supporting the channel. It's appreciated, and I'll continuously be posting regular content, probably like once a week, every 2 weeks, until we have a big library over there as well. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.